Hello and welcome to this week's episode of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Green, Director of Network Expansion, and thank you as always for your time and for engaging with our weekly show. It remains our primary goal of this program to create an avenue to engage with you on a regular basis about the issues that are vital to today's travel advisor, as well as highlight the best-in-class resources offered to the members of the Avoya Travel Network. We hope it piques your interest and that you want to find out more because we love telling the Avoya story, both its storied past, but more importantly, its bright and incredible future. Avoya Travel is in growth mode, working at a very high level to prepare for the surge this industry is about to experience. We say that with the highest levels of confidence based on business intelligence and data, and we saw some glimpses of the potential in the fourth quarter of last year with amazing rebound sales. And while this current COVID surge has certainly delayed the wave season for 2022, it is coming, and we hope you're ready. And we're always happy to have that conversation and see if our network is a great fit for your business needs, and you can reach out anytime at avoyanetwork.com. We have a great show lined up for you today. Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings are opting in. Crystal Cruises hits the pause button, sadly, and Southwest Airlines is rethinking its seating policy after all these years. All of those stories coming up on today in our Eye on the Industry feature here in just a moment. We welcome in a new guest to our program today for our first Meet the Team feature of 2022. I'm so excited to have Brenda Potter, Senior Network Enrichment Specialist, be our special guest for a Q&A session today. Brenda is very hands-on with many of the members of the Avoya Travel Network. She's incredibly knowledgeable, very passionate and dedicated to helping our affiliates get the most out of their relationship with Avoya Travel. And we're excited to highlight her talents on today's program. Brenda will be joining us here in just a few minutes. So let's get going. Today's On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update and a few industry insights and our Eye on the Industry feature. Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, the parent company of Norwegian Cruise Lines, Oceania Cruises, and Regent Seven Seas Cruises, has become the first major cruise company to opt into the new voluntary program from the CDC. That's after the conditional sailing order expired last week on January 15th. Frank Del Rio, the CEO of NCLH, said of the voluntary COVID-19 risk mitigation program, it provides the cruise industry with a set of operating provisions to protect the health and safety of guests and crew. Our adoption of the voluntary program provides guests, crew, travel partners, and other stakeholders with the assurances that our brands will continue to meet and exceed the provisions laid out by the CDC and provide an unparalleled health and safety protocols not found in any other sector of the travel and leisure space. Now, while NCLH is the first major player to opt in, the CDC spokesperson said the agency is hopeful that all cruise lines will ultimately be joining the voluntary program. Now, those that choose not to participate will be automatically listed in a gray status on the CDC color level, meaning the CDC has not reviewed or confirmed the cruise ship operators' health and safety protocols, and of course, we'll continue to monitor this ongoing story. Problems with the parent company, Genting Hong Kong, has caused Crystal Cruises to sadly hit the pause button. All Crystal Ocean and Expedition sailings are being suspended until April 29th and the Crystal River Cruise segment until the end of May. In a statement to the industry, Crystal said that by pausing operations, it would give its management team some time to work through the issues at hand. Quoting Crystal Cruise President Jack Anderson, that this was an extremely difficult decision, but a prudent one given the current business environment and recent developments with our parent company, Genting Hong Kong. Crystal has been synonymous with luxury cruises for more than 30 years, and we look forward to welcoming back our valued guests when we resume operations. And we wish to thank our guests and travel advisors for their incredible support during these ongoing challenging times. Yet another blow to the travel advisor community, sadly, but Crystal has vowed that passengers and their travel advisors are being notified and that Crystal will provide a full refund of the cruise fare paid, which will be processed automatically to the original form of payment, and bookings made with a future cruise credit will see the full value returned to the client's Crystal Society profile. Southwest Airlines has a new incoming CEO. Bob Jordan is the gentleman's name, and he's thinking of revamping the way seats are assigned on the future for Southwest Airline flights. Now, that open seating policy has been in place for well over 30 years, and while it has some detractors, it has its loyal following as well, especially among travelers looking for the best value for their flight dollars, but it can be frustrating at times. I mean, I personally know that frustration of missing your check-in by 1, maybe 2 minutes, and then boom, you're in that seat boarding section and stuck in the dreaded middle seat. Now, this was made during a Southwest Business virtual town hall meeting, but Bob Jordan is quoted as saying, "Could we one day need to take up the assigned seating question? I think we may have to do that." Going on to say the airline should delve into the matter to determine whether assigned seats could have a positive impact on aircraft turn times and operations, as well as to determine how important seat assignments are to business travelers. Now, he did emphasize that they won't be changing another long-term Southwest differentiator, the free checked bags, anytime soon. I fly Southwest a lot, and I know I'd be happy to pay a bit more to guarantee my aisle seat, but I agree, don't mess with the free bags. Are you ready to meet another great member of Team Avoya? I sure hope so, because this is my favorite segment of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. We introduced this segment last year in 2021, and it was a big hit. It gives us a chance to put a face and a name to the amazing best-in-class resources offered to the members of the Avoya Travel Network. And thankfully, in 2022, we still have amazing stories to tell and amazing teammates to introduce you to. Today, we're excited to have Brenda Potter as our first featured Meet the Team guest of the year. Brenda is a vital part of our network enrichment team and provides a very vital resource for successful members of the Avoya Travel Network. So let's welcome in our featured Meet the Team guest today on Deck with Avoya, Brenda Potter, Senior Network Enrichment Specialist. Brenda, so great to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Brenda, before we get into your role with the company and how that benefits our network overall, can you just first give us a little bit of information on your background in travel and how you ended up working with our network enrichment team?
Absolutely. So I have traveled extensively. I lived overseas, like you said, in France and Australia. So obviously I had that passion for travel. And in my first career, I put that to use in a different kind of way. But there came a time in my life where I needed to change careers. And I took up my passion for travel and my organizational skills and all the other things we know travel advisors need, and did my research, found Avoya Travel Network, and decided to become an independent agent. Did that for a while. Again, life threw me another curve, needed to change things, and there happened to be an opportunity with the Network Enrichment team that has been a blessing ever since, and just an exciting place to be. So I'm super fortunate to be on that team.
So it sounds like, Brenda, that traveling has been something that's been a key part of your life for a long time. Ultimately, where did that love of travel come from? Something your family instilled in you?
Travel was a family value because education was a family value. And that meant new places, new things to visit, new people to understand. And so my dad made sure we learned how to use a map, because this was before GPS, and experienced all the national parks and went far and wide to learn that the world was a bigger place.
That sounds like a pretty awesome way to grow up. Brenda, tell me a little bit about your department, Network Enrichment, and the role that you play within that department, and how that ultimately benefits the members of the Avoya Travel Network.
The Network Enrichment team has the privilege of beginning day one with an independent agency's affiliation to walk through the first part of their journey. And so we not only go through the Avoya University courses, which prepare the foundation and basics for functioning in agent power, leveraging our resources, but then we even get to walk past that into claiming their first lead and looking at their first trip record. And, as we all know, the education never ends. And so we continue to provide enrichment that hopefully then continues to enrich the travel network. But that's exactly what I get to do. And I get to do it on such a one-on-one and personal basis that I'm invested in the independent agencies that make up the Avoya Travel Network. And hopefully they know the Network Enrichment team is truly invested in helping grow their independent agency.
So you really get a chance to help them lay down that important best practices, right? I mean, the things that are going to be the building blocks for future success in order to have a successful business. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It's all about those foundational skills and then the in-depth knowledge even beyond, you can learn how to use the booking engine, but boy, have we learned that there's more to learn when FCCs and cancellations and all of that come about. And then agent power never stops growing as well. So there's never an end to the learning a new function.
So the great thing is the network enrichment is there from day one, but there's always reasons why they stay part of your journey all the way through, however long your tenure is with Avoya Travel.
Absolutely. There's always something that we can provide to help your agency grow.
Now, I know you mentioned earlier, Brenda, that you're a former agency owner in the Avoya Travel Network. I was lucky enough to be the specialist at that time that helped when you became a member of the network. How does having that experience benefit you now in what you do and how you assist and support the network?
It's amazing to be able to look at the independent agency and owner and say, I've been in your shoes and I know what it feels like. I know you're excited. I know you're nervous. I know the hurdles in front of you, so that I can really give them my best insights and hopefully help them get through what is a mountain of information that we all want them to be successful, to learn and to grow from.
And having been in their shoes, I'm guessing that it provides you with that ability to be empathetic with some of the challenges and some of the things that come up, right? Because like, I know people come into this and they have this set thing in their mind of what it's going to be like, right? They're going to put a Facebook blast out and then all of their friends are going to drop everything that they're doing that one time. And they're going to rush to them and say, hey, I've got this amazing trip that I want you to book for me. And then they find out that like grandma's price shopping them and their world can kind of fall apart a little bit for a second. And I speak from that experience myself, and to have that person that can say, hey, it's okay, no reason to get the train off the rails here. Let's kind of keep focused and follow that, the steps that you need to really create success. That's got to really, having been there, done that, has to provide, our affiliates a great level of support too.
You're 100% correct, because I can say, before you throw the computer out the window, let's talk through it. And I can say, even earning your no is a lesson learned to be applied to the next thing. So I can relate in all of the successes and failures that they will come across. Yeah,
in sales, a no is just one step closer to the yes. I think you have to ultimately develop a thick enough skin for you to understand that. They ultimately do you a favor in the long run. Brenda Potter, Senior Network Enrichment Specialist for Avoya Travel, is our featured Meet the Team guest today. Brenda, we're so excited about the soon-to-be-unveiled Learning Enrichment Center. And I know there's still some, I's being dotted and T's being crossed, but are you able to verbally give us a sneak peek and an overview of some of the highlights of this great new resource that's coming soon?
I can. So the Learning Enrichment Center is basically everything outside of the Avoya University courses that would enrich your independent agency. And it is always changing. And at the same time, we're trying to update it. So it's definitely a mountain of a task in front of us, but it provides in-depth information on things that maybe you learned the basics on, but then you need more. And now you're in a situation where you need higher level specifics. And so the Learning Enrichment Center is a great place to go. Is there something more than I've already seen? And in addition to that content, we've got supplier content. We've got resources that are available that we've created to make your life easier so that you can work smarter, not harder. So hopefully everyone takes the chance to go to the Learn tab and go down and visit the Learning Enrichment Center, and then watch as it changes and keep checking, because it's always something new there.
Yeah, absolutely. Brenda, one last question about your work role before we talk about a few of your fun facts, and they're pretty cool in and of themselves. You work so closely with so many people in the network. From your perspective, what are some of the qualities that make for a great travel advisor?
That's super easy to answer, because they're qualities that someone displays in all areas of their life. I can tell pretty quickly when I meet an independent agency owner that is listening to really understand what is being said, that is reading to understand what is being said, that they're going to listen to their customer to understand what the customer's needs and wants are. And then also when they're communicating at a high professional level with specifics and with details, and their communication skills are relatable and easy to understand as well. Those two things you either have as a habit in your life with everyone, or you don't, but definitely need them as the travel advisor.
I hosted a webinar through a partner just yesterday that's actually coming out next week, when we're talking about that more here in just a little bit. We were talking about some keywords that you see that it really takes to be a successful travel advisor. And a couple of the words that I used were coachability and engagement, right? Wouldn't you agree that those are just two vital things that you have to have? You have to come in knowing, and even if you're the best, the best still have coaches, right? Tom Brady has a coach. Adele, the greatest singer of our generation, has a vocal coach. If you want the most out of your talent and skills, you listen, you open your ears, you open your eyes, and you participate.
Yes, you seek out that opportunity to enrich yourself.
Very good. Absolutely. So let's talk for a few minutes about you, the person outside of Avoya Travel, because I'm fascinated by your first career as a musician. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that and kind of some of the amazing places that career took you.
Sure. So I knew from a very early age that music was my thing. I think I have in crayon that I was going to be a singer, when I was little. So I was a classically trained vocalist as my first career, which meant everything from singing opera in different countries. And I sang the national anthem at a Red Sox game, which most people go, oh, that's relatable. But yeah, and I've done it in many ways. One director had this vision of everyone being on wheels. So I sang on rollerblades, which was super fun and not easy. But yeah, and then that led me, as I had children, to narrow down the scope of quite how far and wide my career was taking me. But I've always found a place to express that part of myself. And even now, I still find places to sing. It's just a little bit different.
So like if we're doing national conference and it's karaoke time, are we going to go hit up the karaoke bar, or that's not where you apply that talent?
I'm going to rule that stage.
And I want to see that happen. That sounds like a whole lot of fun. I'm guessing you had to go to some really cool places. What were some of the highlights of places that career allowed you to visit?
So I did a lot of study in France and sang in several of the beautiful cathedrals there in Paris. And I have sung with the Czech Republic Symphony. One crazy thing, I sang for the last living Habsburg at the hunting lodge of the Habsburgs in Austria, which was really random, but, and I stood on a table on 3-inch heels to do that. So crazy stuff. And then it led me to also conducting too, which I've been able to conduct youth choirs in Australia and adults. And, so I've done just lots of things with amazing people and so many cultures it's been such a privilege.
Are you able to, after all of those experiences, like say, oh, this is my favorite trip or my favorite place I've ever visited?
Oh, 100%. New Zealand. I had the privilege of going there 3 times, and it is 100% my favorite place. I would go be a sheep farmer on a hillside in New Zealand if someone would let me live there. That's
funny. What about places that are still on that wish list, Brenda? Any place that you're hoping to visit or have plans to visit in the near future?
The thing about travel is if you instill that in your children as well, they want to travel. And my daughter is about to graduate with an international relations degree, an Arabic major, and will be living a year at least, in maybe forever, in a Middle Eastern country. So I'm sure that Morocco or Jordan or somewhere like that is on my near future bucket list. And then also you don't know this, I was recently engaged, and our honeymoon wish is to go to Australia, because that is sort of how we met, is talking about Australia.
Well, congratulations. That's fantastic. And hopefully everything can make that happen. I noticed you had your first career involved travel, and then miraculously you ended up in another career that was involved in travel. I'm guessing that wasn't by accident, right?
Not at all. I'm curious minds, and I love cultures and people and new things. So of course, always wanting to do that.
Brenda, one last thing before we wrap up our chat today. What's that one piece of advice that you would offer someone that's thinking about getting into travel sales? They're on the fence right now, but they're thinking about that.
I can say from a lot of experience that you can have a certain passion for something, but if you don't couple that with hard work and determination, it's really hard to find success. So you have to pour the passion for all the fun things into also working really hard. I am in admiration of the travel advisors right now that are working hard, because it's their passion to continue to make this business that we all love stay alive and move forward.
As a follow-up to that, I know I said one last thing, but now I've got a follow-up. As a follow-up to that, from your perspective and all the various people that you work with and the feedback that you get, do you think the future of leisure travel is going to continue to be strong? I mean, are we pointed in the right direction?
Absolutely. As long as we want to taste new foods and see new places and meet new people, we will travel. And the world's only getting to be a smaller place. So I don't see that ever becoming something that isn't top on the list of desires for people is to travel.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just saw today a new survey out that said 81% of all people plan to take a vacation in the next 6 months. So if you're sitting on the fence and you're wondering, wow, is now the time? Is the future really as bright as these industry professionals are saying it is? I think not just the industry saying that, but the general public saying it as well.
Absolutely. We all want to go. We're ready to go.
Perfect advice. Brenda Potter, everyone, Senior Network Enrichment Specialist for Avoya Travel, and our Meet the Team featured guest today for On Deck with Avoya. Brenda, thank you again for your time and for that great discussion.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here.
Next week, we're excited for our first Meet the Network guest for 2022. Dana Ziegel, owner of Gypsy Travels LLC, an independent agency in the Avoya Network, will join us for a great discussion on the current state of the industry, what Dana's hearing from clients, a few tips for fellow travel professionals, some of the trips that Dana may have been on. She travels quite a bit. So we're looking forward to having Dana join us next Thursday here on Deck with Avoya. Okay, so of course, we have programs that are geared both to an experienced and a new to travel person. And we want to talk about new to travel and that path really quick, because that path involves some of the most amazing resources, people like Brenda Potter that can be involved in your journey through our network enrichment team, our mastermind program, our brand sales. We have the technology and the support, all the bells and whistles that can take somebody who has that passion and that drive and that determination and all the traits that Brenda talked about to go from being unknowledgeable to being an industry expert. So reach out, gain access to marketing, technology, support, all of that. Be your own boss, set your own hours, enjoy that flexible lifestyle, everything you need to run a successful small travel agency, and reach out. My team would be more than happy to provide all the information about our resources. And the same thing for those of you that have been in the industry but are looking to go to the next level. If you're ready to level up, join a company that's ready to level up too, and that is 100% Avoya Travel. With our recent growth investment from Sutaris, it is go time at Avoya Travel, and you're going to get more support for your business. Our exclusive live leads can help you reach customers that you've never chatted with before. Build your business the way you want with solutions designed to continuously fuel growth. There's that word again. So reach out. We would love to have that conversation with you. How do you reach out? Well, our website is always the same. It is avoyanetwork.com. You can put in your request. You can get access to a bunch of FAQs there. You can send me a personal email, chris.green@avoyatravel.com. You can reach out by phone. You can use your camera to get the QR code. You'll get some information there. All of it just an avenue so that we can engage and have that conversation and see if together we can't put together the beginning stages of a shared success relationship. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate your continued support and watching every single week. We will be back next week with that great guest. Dana's going to be here. A big thank you again to Brenda Potter for being our special guest. A big thank you to Marissa Smith, again, doing an amazing job as our producer. I hope you have a great week and take care, everyone.